We're turning our attention now to Connecticut, where closing arguments are underway today in the missing mom conspiracy trial. The defendant is Michelle Troconis.
Yeah, the defense rested its case on Friday after revealing that Troconis would not testify in her own defense. She was interviewed multiple times, and the jury heard her voice over the course of this trial multiple times. She, of course, is accused of covering up the 2019 murder of Jennifer Dulos. She was in a relationship with Fotis Dulos, the estranged husband of Jennifer at the time.
That's right, and we're going to be bringing you key moments from closing arguments. That's what's been happening today. This trial, after 27 plus days, they are wrapping things up, and it could be in the hands of a jury very soon. But to catch you up and get you up to speed on this case, here's a closer look at the background against Michelle Troconis.
On Friday, May 24th, 2019, Jennifer Dulos dropped her 5 children off at school and returned to her New Canaan, Connecticut home, never to be seen again. Around 7 o'clock that evening, Dulos was officially reported missing by friends and family.
Startling with 5 children. That's really disturbing.
Once police arrived at her home, they followed a trail of blood from the garage to Jennifer's SUV, abandoned at a nearby park, and a massive search was on. While investigators searched, they discovered evidence pointing to a contentious divorce and custody battle between Jennifer and her luxury home-building husband, Fotis Dulos.
I am afraid of my husband, Jennifer said in court papers. I know that filing for divorce will enrage him. I know he will retaliate by trying to harm me in some way.
The only thing I have to say, again, for one more time, is that my only concern are my children. I care deeply about them, and I can't wait to be with them again.
After the discovery of surveillance video showing Fotis and his girlfriend, Michelle Troconis, discarding items the evening of Jennifer's disappearance, police began zeroing in on Jennifer's estranged husband.
I hope for her family something, she gets found, or I don't think there can ever be closure, but I hope there is some resolution.
Investigators brought in Fotis and Michelle for interviews. Following the interviews, a note was found during a police search of Fotis' home detailing a timeline. That timeline matched details his girlfriend Michelle Troconis had given police in an interview recalling the day of Jennifer's disappearance.
I hold the paper towel, but I didn't smell it. I didn't see the...
Police interviewed Troconis a total of 3 times, getting conflicting information in each interview.
He gave me a piece of paper over the toilet, paper towel, and I put it inside where I had the bag of cleaning, what I was cleaning the house.
Although police have not recovered the body of Jennifer Dulos, on June 1st, less than 2 weeks after her disappearance, Dulos was arrested.
As you know, Mr. Dulos was arrested today and charged with 3 counts: murder, felony murder, and kidnapping. Michelle Troconis was arrested.
3 weeks after Fotis Dulos was charged in the murder of his ex-wife Jennifer, he died by suicide.
They could see through a window that Mr. Dulos was sitting in his vehicle, and he had obvious signs of medical distress.
Now, Michelle Troconis faces trial for conspiracy to commit the murder of her boyfriend's estranged wife, Jennifer Dulos. She's pled not guilty of the charges and claims she was unaware of what Fotis was doing the day Jennifer disappeared. Now, the victim's family hopes that this trial could shed new light on locating Jennifer's body.
Everyone in that Connecticut courtroom, they are watching those closing arguments happening right now. We have some of the key moments, the state's rebuttal argument. So the last thing before this jury gets the case, that's what's going on now. Here's a look back at those moments.
The defense would have you believe she ran away from her kids, but she did not. Jennifer is dead, and Fotis and Michelle Troconis intended that to happen. This trial is very simple. It's about a conspiracy and about a cover-up. And every time those kids came around, Michelle Troconis had to leave her home. She had to take her daughter somewhere else. And we know she was sick of it. The frustration turned to anger and hatred. Listen to her own words in the interviews. how she describes Jennifer, someone she has never met. She describes her as manipulating, angry, toxic. As you heard Mike Mean and Mike Rose's testimony, each attorney tried to tell her there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Because we know what she thought about the 2 years of the custody case, about the 2 years of court hearings. She described it as 2 years of torture, that it was a nightmare, and that she was going to leave. But that light at the end of the tunnel, I submit to you, wasn't another court hearing, because there was a court hearing, and nothing changed.
What I want to start off by pointing out is that what really happened on May 24th, 2019, because whatever was going on that day, whatever Fotis Dulos' role was in the disappearance, and I'll say the likely death of Jennifer Dulos, Michelle Troconis did not know. She did not know that Fotis Dulos planned to harm her. Everything suggested that things were going well, and it was to the contrary. In fact, she didn't know that Fotis was capable of doing something like this. A man who was dedicated to his 5 children, had been in court for years trying to get custody back. The state has made what I would suggest are unfounded and unfair assumptions and has speculated that Michelle Troconis had to know what was going on, that she was, because she was romantically linked with Fotis, that she was somehow involved in this nefarious, murderous plot. But that's not reality. That's more like one of these cable TV movies, scripted movies. It's not based on the facts that you heard during this trial. It is, and I will say this multiple times, speculation. It's conjecture. It's guesswork, which is not the standard of evidence in a criminal case here. We also concede that something bad did in fact happen at 69 Wells Lane in New Canaan that morning. It's clear, and we will also concede that Fotis Dulos is ultimately responsible for what happened to Jennifer Dulos.
Okay, part of the defense closed. Before that, the state's closed. The jury will have this case very soon. And this is a case that we've been monitoring for years as the buildup. Fotis was the prime suspect, ends up committed suicide, and now here we are. And for this community in Connecticut,
to finally see the end of this trial.
Potential closure for victim family members, but it's not a open and shut case. Marie Prayer's with us, and Marie, your thoughts now. Here we are, and both sides sort of articulated the case. The state bank saying, "Please give me a break. You didn't know that you were cleaning up the results of a murder." And then the defense, really, she didn't know what she was doing. This guy was in construction. She didn't realize the task that she was forced to do for him. Your thoughts overall of this case, how strong it was for the state?
The state has a strong case because they have video evidence of her helping him to carry bags and putting them in dumpsters. So that's where her defense attorney has a challenge. And I think him saying these are just assumptions, no, it's not just an assumption. If she didn't know, then why was she sitting in the car with him, letting him allow her to pick up things and throw and drain grids in the street and in dumpsters? What did she think was in the bag? So for the defense attorney to argue no knowledge, no complicity, nothing at all, I'm just an innocent mistress who was just taking a ride and helping him put some construction bags in dumpsters, makes no sense to me whatsoever. The state has a strong case, and I think the fact that she didn't get up on the stand, to say, well, this is what I was doing, to explain her part of it, even though she doesn't have to testify. It's her right to remain silent till the end. It's going to come back to bite her because, sis, explain to us why you were lifting those bags and helping him get rid of evidence. What did you think they were? Please explain.
Throwing things away all over the city, Marie. I mean, going from trash can to trash can to trash can, it seems very odd. 28 days of testimony. What do you think the length of this jury deliberation is going to be when they've had a lot of evidence put in front of them for weeks on end?
It's not going to take long, again, because the video speaks for itself. And her silence also speaks loudly as to her involvement and her willingness to explain to the jurors in common sense words, like you said, Julia, what was she doing throwing all that stuff away? That's all we want to hear. I always consider myself like the 13th juror, and I want to know. And the fact that she didn't take the stand is really a detriment to her case. And I don't think the jurors are going to take long, because we know that poor woman died, okay? We saw bloody clothes, ripped up bras, and she's missing. So thank you for acknowledging she died, defense attorney, but your client, she's gonna get convicted.
If Fotis doesn't kill himself, she would be the star witness, potentially, for the state and end up maybe doing no time at all or a little bit. But now, with him gone, I would argue that they needed her to take the entire fall for justice to be served. Am I off base?
You're not off base, and I feel like, yes, she needs to take the fall. We don't know what happened, but we see you on video helping him to get rid of something. Now he's gone, and you just want us to say, okay, sorry, mother of 5, you just disappeared. No, that's not happening. Justice has to take place. We don't know what's going on. You're not getting on the stand to tell us what's going on. You're exercising your constitutional right to remain silent. Guess what? Somebody has to pay for this. This woman is not just going to disappear and leave 5 children motherless, and then he kills himself, and you just get to go away and say, oops, let me find the next married man. No.
That is, we will see what the jury says about this, Marie. Thank you for your comments.